I say welcome back guys into my video. I have a nice beautiful topic here today, and it's how to story show. I need you to understand that in life you're going to be a person who's really showing yourself much more. You need to realize that you need to be a person who's really foundational in being able to expose yourself and being a better person for it. I promise you that those people who can show themselves are the ones who can also story show. And how are you supposed to do that? You have to understand that in order for you to story show, you need to be a person who's far elegant, and you need to be able to really grasp what you're saying and be able to learn from it. You need to learn from what you're saying, you need to grow from what you're saying, and you need to do what you're saying. I promise you those people who are able to do what they're saying are the ones who are never lazy. They're never lazy, and they're never letting their ego control their mind. And you have to understand that your mind is never your mind. You are something above this world, and you need to control this over here, and you need to have a better this, because it's about this. And the better this you have, I promise you the better body you have, and the better money you have, and the better finances and everything in your life. I promise you those people who are able to tune out the outside world, such as I at the moment, because no matter what, I have some theta brainwaves going on, and it's a low frequency humming sound, and it's a nice relaxing moment for me in order for me to give a video, although I can do it without this, and I just love to do it this way. Although everybody's different, and you understand that no matter what happens, that you be a person who can really up your skill class, and do anything you can to be a person who can really give ideas. Give ideas about everything. Give ideas about business and about life and about who you are and your story. And it's about really, let's say, every single day, you must be able to maneuver throughout life in a better way. So figure out what works for you. I'll understand that no matter what, when you're going throughout life, you need to use your I and you and your questions every single day, because that's how you're going to public speak, and that's how you're going to do something remarkable. I promise you those people who have something to say are always the ones who can show something more than those people who've got nothing to say. I promise you that those people who talk can also story show. I promise you that those people who can look better are the ones who are showing more in terms of attractiveness. So be that type of person who can really grasp the moment and be a person who's very fluent in what you're saying. You need to look inside, you need to really dig inside your accommodation, which is your body. I promise you that you're only living in your body, so you need to be able to take care of it. You need to take care of what's inside, and what's inside is really your soul. And if you're trashing it with pornography and also any junk food and poisonous food out there and drink, you understand also drugs can poison your body. I promise you that way you're going to grow older, and you never need to be old. You understand? So be a person who's never poisoning your body, and that way you're going to look better, you're going to feel better. You have to understand that those people who are on top of their communication skills are the ones who are going to really travel throughout life in a better way. So make sure no matter what, you're always a person who's doing better in some aspect of your life. Make sure that you're always putting your eye in action, and that way you're going to have more of a sense of integrity. You're going to be a person who's far lifting in terms of your life. And when you're marketing online, make sure you do it for free, because you understand guys, that no matter what, that those people who are giving money to gain some views and attention are the ones who are losing money. You have to understand that no matter what, that you have to go for free, because guess what? Jesus will do it for free. You understand? Jesus will never give money so that you can see him. You understand? I promise you those people who can understand Jesus can understand that Jesus went up to them and never gave them $1 so that whole crowd can find Jesus out. You have to understand that you need to be a person who understands that when you're getting $500 a day and you're getting all these views, how much times do you have to give $30 a day and $20 a day and $10 a day and $2 a day so that you can get some free likes and all of this? You have to understand that you can do it for free. And how do you do it for free? You can go on the street and you can perform something, and you can put your Instagram there, and I promise you that it's the same thing. Although you may have to get a permit in your area and you might have to stay in that area for a certain period of time so that you can continue doing that. You need to be a person who can really be you need to be a person who can be foundational in what you're saying. So be a person who's talented in something. And I promise you that the way to build your talent is to really look inside and to really write it out. because those people who practice something more and more are talented in that. I have this talent of speaking this way and doing my videos in this manner because I've practiced over time. I practiced myself to be able to do this. And now what's happening in the future in terms of this moment in my life, I will say that no matter what in my life, I'm making sure that I'm preparing for the future in a way that I'm giving ideas and I'm growing myself in the moment. I'm never thinking about the future because I never think. I never think about what to say. I just say it. You understand? Because what I say is what I do. And what I do is everything positive. So I'm a positive worker. I'm a wisdom worker. I'm a life coach. I'm a life analyst. I'm a business strategist. I'm a planning strategist also. I'm not an expert. I'm still a student. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. And you will understand that no matter what, that many people are going to judge you throughout life. You have to be a person who never gets judged, because guess what? You must never get judged. Although let yourself in life to judge yourself and everything, because that way you're going to be a person who lets go of the judgment. Because when you allow yourself to judge yourself and when you allow yourself to get judged, you'll be a person who's forgiving yourself, and you'll never allow yourself to get judged when you're allowing it. You have to understand that those people who are allowing life are the ones who are growing. I promise you that when you're judging yourself, you're beating yourself on the head about what you did, and that's called sympathy. I mean, you're calling yourself that you are sorry for yourself and you're feeling sorry for yourself, because those people who beat, I promise you that those people who beat themselves over the head are the ones who are always feeling sorry for themselves. I never need you to cry in any type of manner. I never need you to cry. I just need you to be happy. I just need you to be happier. I understand there is a such term as joy in terms of life, and you understand that those people who cry in terms of tears of joy, you understand I'm better than words. I'm better than everything I say. And those people who really, let's say, cry tears of joy are the ones who are really happier while they're crying. So make sure that you're happier while you're crying and be able to distinguish, are you in sympathy or in joy while you're crying? And that way, automatically try to shift yourself and actually shift yourself into the joy as crying, and say, I choose to be joyful in this moment as I cry, because I feel that there's something much better coming in my way. And that way I've managed to do that, and I feel much better for that, because I've had a sympathy cry, and I went from sympathy into joy, and I said, no, I swear in my own integrity that I never swear, although I see in my own integrity that I'm a person who really loves joy, and I don't care about sympathy and feeling sorry for myself, because I choose to be happier now. You have to choose happiness, guys. I promise you that those people who are controlling your life and the people who are around you and telling you what to do, I promise you they are the ones who are really, let's say, ignorant of you and are minding your business, although they're using you because of what you're doing in life. And you have to understand what you are doing is you need to realize to never be controlled by those people, because that way you're going to succeed more. And when you succeed more, you're going to be a person who can far recollect a better way. And a better way is something to do with nature in terms of personal growth. And when your personal growth in life and you're developing, you're going to be a person who's really never part of the environment. You're going to be something better than the environment, because the environment is the crowd, and you never need the environment. What you need is something inside, and you need to look inside, because that way you're going to blossom and you're going to see the sun, you're going to see the sunrise, you're going to see a sunset, and you're going to be a nice beautiful person when you're looking inside, because that way you can story show much more. And story showing is really a way for you to say that you're speaking better, and that you're doing better, and that you're growing better, and that you have a better mindset, and that you can public speak, and that you can communicate, and that you can go travel the world whenever. You understand? Because when you have more success, your story is showing more about your success, and you're actually showing it. You understand? Because those people who speak louder than words are the ones who are more successful. So be that kind of person, because those people are story showing. You understand? I mean, they're the ones who are really, let's say, doing something and they're sticking to it, and they do it for free. And eventually you understand that it's going to make you a better person in the process. You have to understand that the world out there is for free. So guess what? Make sure that when people are asking you for money, you have to understand that you never go out there. You only stay inside. Although make sure that no matter what, you go the freeway. I mean, get the free Wi-Fi. I mean, go the freeway to get attention. I mean, never do paid advertising. I never use the word paid. I never get paid. I only receive money and I only give money. You understand? I only give money towards what can grow me. I understand that no matter what, that information products grow me. I understand music production grows me. I understand that technology such as this, where I can do a video, can grow me. I realize that my journal grows me, and I invest in technology that has a PDF maker. And you understand that no matter what, that everything else falls by the wayside, because my only happiness in life is what I do in terms of growth. And nothing else satisfies me. I promise you, a kid will never satisfy you. I promise you, a woman will never satisfy you. I promise you, a man will never satisfy you. I promise you, that only growth will. I promise you, those people who can grow are the ones who can really develop their talents in a better way. I promise you that those people who can speak and live in integrity are the ones who, I promise you, they're the ones who are going to live life to the fullest and are also going to lead others to be able to do it. I promise you, although, that when you're living day to day, what you have to do is you have to realize that it's only one step each day. And I promise you that over time, in the past year, I've written so much content and I've done so much content. I mean, if you told me to be able to do that 1 year earlier, and I realized what's ahead of me, I would get so scared about what I've done in the past year, because I've done so much growth. And I would be so afraid to do it. Although, if you told me to do it one step at a time, in terms of 1 day at a time, and 1 moment at a time, and 1 second at a time, I promise you that now, suddenly it's achievable, because I can just do little small tasks each day to amass this massive 1 year spectrum of growth. I promise you that when you're focusing on just one little spectrum and task each and every day, in terms of you're keeping it rotating, and you're never just doing one task, you're doing a range of small tasks every single day, which is a range of small collective goals. And over the year, you're making this huge goal. I mean, the huge goal must be growth. I mean, the huge goal must it must be that you be better than yesterday. You must be a person who's using the mind and use your body and use your emotions, because I need you to use everything. I need you to understand that your mind is never your mind, although your mind is the ego, and you need to overcome the ego. And to overcome the ego, you need to be sober, and veganism helps a lot about becoming a stronger mind. You understand? So you have to understand that it's never about the ego. I need you to have a better mentality. I need you to have better wisdom. I need you to understand that the wisdom comes from here. I need you to understand that the feelings are what you represent in terms of how your mindset is. So the better your mindset, the better your feelings. So when you're bettering your mindset, you're looking for knowledge, you're looking for information products, you're looking to listen to music all day long, and you're looking to have fun in a way that's never going to destroy you, and that's never going to waste your time, and in a way that's going to grow you. You have to understand that anything that's going to grow you is the way to go. You understand? Because that is the way of happiness. I mean, the way of happiness is growth. And those people who grow are going to grow in a way that they determine their life in a way that they're going to plan for it, and they're planning for growth, and that way you're going to be able to story show much more. I mean, I show up on Facebook, I show up on Instagram, and I only use Instagram as my social media. Why? Because I simplify. I mean, why have 10 Instagrams when I can have one? You understand? Because you have to understand that 10 social media profiles are not going to help me as much as one will. I promise you, one is the bigger number than 10. I promise you, without one, there is no 10. I need you to understand that I simplify this method. I simplify this method, and that's why I succeed so much in my Instagram, because I only have to bring people to my Instagram now. And in Instagram, there's only 300 million followers. In terms of the database of Instagram has 300 million people in it, and that's more than enough for you to reach high status. So why would you have to expand and have 5,000 friends in Facebook and 1,500 friends in Snapchat, and then go to TikTok and build your following there, and then you have to go to LinkedIn to build your following there? I mean, it's really complicated to do that. And what's really simple is to get one social media and succeed in that. And that's it. I mean, once you succeed in social media in terms of Instagram, and you have 200 million followers inside Instagram, I promise you it's more than enough. You understand? Because you understand that it's just one profile, and people can find you on this profile. So when you're a person who goes and advertises yourself somewhere on the street, you may be a street performer, and guess what? You put your Instagram there, and you have a beautiful Instagram. I promise you it's a landing page. I promise you have the Google Analytics, and you have the Instagram, and I promise you have the Instagram Analytics. I then will say that people are gonna come into you in terms of your Instagram. I promise you to give you views. And guess what? You gave money for the permit, and that way you're giving a speech, and you're never doing it for them, you're doing it for something greater, and you're never asking for donations because you have money, and that way you understand that you're richer for it, and you're giving free information, and you're doing it for free, and people got nothing to say that you are no inspiration, because you inspire them more than they do you, and that way you have more skills to give them than they do you, and that way they're gonna look at you as somebody, and that way you're gonna understand that Jesus will do it for free. So you have to understand that Jesus will never give $1 million so that you can see him. You understand? I promise you, Jesus will come to you for free and knock on your door, and I promise you that you would open the door and Jesus would see you for free. I promise you that Jesus will never give you $1 million in this world to see you. I promise you that Jesus can do it for free. I promise you, although, that you're going to do it for free, because that's the way the story show. I promise you that the more you can realize that those people are going to make it much better are the ones who are taking control of their life, and are the ones who are really showing for it. So your story is showing in a way that you're planning for your life so that you can succeed, so you can realize that there is a better way out there, which is inside, and you realize that inside is the way to go, and that way you're going to help yourself to succeed. You're going to help yourself give ideas. You give ideas to people for free, and you keep your story show going, because the story is your journey, and you have to show your story every single day. So the story show is to give out your story more and more, and it's to enjoy the process and to rejoice in yourself. And when you're doing, I promise you, when you're doing that, you're going to be a person who can really be foundational and go through what you're saying in a way that you're never affected by your words, and you can grow from your words. You can pick up every single word in a dictionary, and you can explain it, and you can give the meaning of that word, because you understand the whole vocabulary of the world. And that way you're going to be this massive poetry guy or woman, and you understand this massive person can really do something big when you're really working at it. You understand? So be that type of person who can really, let's say, be the best. And I have nothing against women and guys, and I don't care who I put first. I may put a man first in this video, I don't care, because guess what? It's really I put Jesus first. You have to understand, I don't care about the who's first model from the man or woman, because I put something bigger than me first. I need to understand that you guys need to realize that in life you're going to get pounded, and you're going to get negative, and you're going to be a positive person. I promise you that you be positive more than you're negative, because in life I get negative sometimes, and guess what? I catch myself out and I say, that's my ego. I'm not negative. I'm a person who's positive. I say it that way and I move on. And I make sure no matter what, when somebody coughs, I have to say I'm not sick. I feel like I'll catch a disease or something when someone coughs. I say I'm rich or better. I just clarify something for myself to just overtake that, because I never need to be around sick people. I never go to hospitals, because Grant Cardone said to me that being around sick people is never the way to go, and I really see common sense in that. So I never have to go to hospitals, although you can find free Wi-Fi there. You can find free Wi-Fi at Woolworths, Australia, or any supermarket in your local area may have some free Wi-Fi, and the library. You understand that the library is a nice place to go, where you can go and be quiet, and you can be away from family, and you can be a person who is always looking for skills. You can go inside Anytime Fitness gyms, and you can lock yourself in the toilet for 1 hour. You understand that no matter what, I've done that in Hobart from many times. And you understand that it's a nice, beautiful gesture to sit inside the toilet for 30 minutes and do your work and do something that can help you get away from people. I promise you it's a nice, convenient way for you to stay inside and realize that you're not a small person. You're not a small person in this world, because when you're looking inside, out, you're a person who's really big in the moment. I promise you, when you're looking outside in and you're looking for outside people to help you, you're really this small little pebble in the world of this massive world outside us. You have to understand that the massive world outside us is really a small world when we're looking inside. You understand? So there's nothing big out there. I promise you that the massive gold nuggets and everything that's really much better than the outside world is inside. I promise you that those people who are looking inside are always going to be prosperous and are going to never catch disease. I promise you they're the people who are going to never be negative. And you need to be able to find yourself in a video or podcast or anything that you're doing and do it in a better way. I mean, go and show yourself in a better way and do something in a better way, and always be increasing your habits in a type of way. And in that way, you can really, let's say, gather what you need, and you plan for the day in a video, You plan a day and you plan the month ahead and you plan the video and you plan everything that you're going to do, because once you speak it, you will live it, because you live your integrity, and that's how powerful you can be. I mean, when you say, I'll be the president, and you live up to it, I promise you that's the best way to go. I promise you, although, that you need the habits to do so. You need the habits to be able to have a better mind than yesterday. And the best mind is really, let's say, a person who's growing and you have no thinking, because your thinking is going into paper format, and your thinking can go into your journal, which is your phone, which is a Pokedex, as I call it. You understand that I carry 2 Pokedexes with myself, because sometimes one of my phones may die. I pick up my phone in the other one and I start to write content. I start to do content. I may get my laptop also as an extra backup. I can portable charger. I can use my laptop as a portable charger and I can also make sure that no matter what, I'm always teaching skills. So in my journal, I'm always teaching you something every single day. So it's worthwhile to go and read my articles, which are my journals, and you understand that in my life, I stay away from certain places, and that's the way to boost your energy and boost your time and boost your money. For example, the other day, I'll give you some examples of what I stay away from now. I stay away from getting curtains. I'll never ever invest in a curtain ever again. I'll never invest in a cupboard. I'll never invest in drawers. I'll never invest in garden services. I'll never invest in mechanical services. I'll never invest in a car in terms of to buy it outright. I'll never invest in a Ferrari to buy it outright. I'll never invest in a Lamborghini to buy it outright. Why? Because I save money and I have more money that way. I will never ever hire timber flooring services. You can see timber on the floor. I'll never do that because I have the need for real estate. You understand? I have need for real estate. I just never need to buy the real estate outright. I realize another ones that I never buy out a real estate. I never get a mortgage. I never get myself into any interest rates. I stay away from it. I also stay away from debt. I never use debt. I also make sure no matter what that I stay away from tables and chairs and furniture. I never buy that. I never buy refrigerators. I never buy microwaves. I never buy toasters. I never buy the barbecue gear and the barbecue set. I never buy anything to do with the real estate anymore. I never clean I clean my room. Although, for example, I never chuck out the rubbish. I give it to the cleaners because I travel around hostels now, and I realize that I always have cleaners who are throwing out my rubbish, and I rather do that than I'd rather do that than having myself to do it. I realized when I was living with my biological dad, what was happening was I always had to throw the rubbish out every single second day or something. I realized now I have rubbish cleaners, and what I do is I put the rubbish outside the door, and I realize no matter what, the cleaner comes and picks up the rubbish and goes. And then I open the door, I get my new plastic bag that's inside the rubbish bin, and I put inside my accommodation, and it's nice, and I have a beautiful way to express myself. I have a beautiful way to get myself a plastic bag, and I realize I never have to invest in rubbish plastic bags anymore. You understand? So that's another one. I realize I never have to go to the chemist warehouse. I never have to go to the Bunnings warehouse to get any drills. I never invest in drills. I never invest in hammers. I never invest in anything to do with carpentry. I never invest in those tools. I never invest in a toolkit that has anything to do with making real estate or wood or chainsaws. I never invest in chainsaws. I have no need for it. I realize that these are all skills in terms of how I story show and how I really live life. And I realize that when you're a person who can stay away from that, I realize that you'll go another way. I mean, if you're not a person who loves timber flooring and you're in love to give money for timber services, I mean, just cross that out from your life and you never have to do it again. I mean, as long as you cross it out, I promise you, you'll go a better road. So in this aspect, I never have to get myself anywhere else except for Darwin. And I realized that it's really about growth. I realized it's more about growth than it is traveling. I realized that I will never return anywhere. I realized I said that. I realized that you understand that is the way to go. You have to understand that those people who are doing better are the ones who are doing that type of style and are really staying away from most of the places. And you can find that in my journal. I mean, when I stay away from those things that I just mentioned, I mean, those are objects. I stay away from objects. I stay away from investing in those places. I mean, I'll never invest in Hobart ever again. I'll never go to Hobart ever again. I'll never go to Perth. I'll never go to Cairns. I'll never go to Townsville. I've been there. I mean, once I finish Australia, I may go to Hobart to just go to Cradle Mountain. I mean, I'll just go to Cradle Mountain because I'll go to the Launceston instead. I mean, I'll never go to Hobart because I've been to Hobart. In a sense, so I crossed it out. I'll never go there again. I've seen it once and that's it. I mean, some people are going to Byron Bay 10 times. I mean, why are you returning there? I mean, you've seen it already. I mean, what's so special about it? I don't know. You have to understand that you need to be a person who's really foundational in this way and be a person who can really do much better. I mean, I never invest in leather clothing anymore. I never care about the leather anymore. I mean, they put emphasis. I mean, emphasis is a good word, although they put negative remarks in a term where there may be a negative statement. You understand? So I'm not negative. I'm not a negative person. Although you understand that leather is never for me. Understand? Because leather is negative for me in terms of what's greater, because I see Jesus and Jesus never ate meat at all. So I follow Jesus' remarks and I follow Jesus' statements and the Bible in terms of what happens. You have to understand that those people who never believe in Jesus are still following the testament of God, and they don't understand that. I don't even understand, although I'm much better than yesterday. I always look for ways to grow. I don't know myself because I'm always growing. I'm doing something to better my life. And you have to understand that I just taught you some nice, beautiful skills and energy techniques where you never have to go. I mean, why do you need cream at the chemist? I mean, why do you need pharmaceutical drugs? I never do that. I never use creams about anything. I have a rash. I'll do a natural remedy. I'll make sure I'll put my own hand on it, and I'll put some water or something, and I'll rub it. And I'll rub it gently, and I'll never scratch it. I'll make sure that I can cover it up with something. You understand? So no matter what, I'll go to the food supermarket, I'll get myself a nice something to wrap it around with, and I'll leave it. Because guess what? I promise you, a cream or something is never going to help you. You understand? I promise you never need creams. You never need any type of creams because they're chemicals. You never need chemicals. You have more than enough in your body. You never need shampoos. I never use shampoos. I never use a soap. I used to use lemongrass because that was a vegan one. I never use that. I never use any toothpaste in life. I already have toothpaste that's vegan and it's called by Red Seal. I mean, the Red Seal label, which is the brand Red Seal, has vegan antioxidants and also, for example, vegan chemicals. You understand that there is no vegan, there is no meat inside of that in terms of life. It's a vegan toothpaste. There's no meat substances inside of that toothpaste. So no matter what, I sometimes have to talk in a better way. So it's always much better that I do it all the way. Always make sure no matter what, I'm always speaking in a better way. I'm always moving it along, because when you're sticking to something really quickly in terms of life and you're doing it much better, you're going to be a person who's far more foundational in a way that you're never always stuck on something. You're never stuck on your words. You're never a person who's stuck about anything. You need to be a person who's really, let's say, moving it on. Because I'm a person who's a vegan, so I wear vegan clothing. I do vegan everything. I do vegan toothbrushes. I do vegan everything. You understand? So you just be a person who can realize that you be a person who can story show what you are. And you stand for it, and you're a better person for it. You need skills. You need to be a person who's really never laughing at others. When you're laughing at somebody, I promise you it's your ego that's laughing at somebody. So catch your ego out and look ego in the eyes and say, you will never control me. You need to control yourself in a way that you have self-controls, because when you're wild in a way that's negative, you have to understand that you be a positive person, and you need to realize that many people are having fun and are too wild and are doing nothing to support anybody else in terms of growth. So be a person who supports everybody in terms of growth. And you have to understand that sometimes your time is more valuable than theirs. So make sure you can time swap in a way that you're going to have more time, freedom, than giving too much of your time for other people where those people never appreciate it. And you're never doing that for anybody else. You're doing it for something bigger. So go where something bigger would go. Do what something bigger will do. You understand? So when you're thinking about something bigger, you're thinking in the moment, although you're understanding that all your thoughts, which are never your thoughts because you grab your thoughts from somebody else, must be on paper and in your journal or on video or in a podcast or in a quote. You have to understand that you need to be a person who's going to teach all that, and that way you're going to add more value, and you're going to drive business. You're going to drive business revenue into your life. And what is business revenue? It's really growth. The more you grow, I promise you, the more business you have. So be a person who creates your own opportunity that way. My opportunity here is I created 177 videos, and I have this one as well, and I have more than that. I realized that no matter what, I'm a person who has many journals. I'm creating more journals by the day, and I'm taking it one day at a time, and I have over 23,000 quotes, and I have branding photos, and I have my Instagram, and I have all this nice setup of my life, and I'm always looking for ways to have a better schedule and have more money and be a better person in terms of my disciplines. I make sure to live an easier life by being tougher on myself. And what are some ways for me to be tougher on myself? I already named all those tools and services I stay away from, like the drill and the table and the chair and the furniture. Those are tough disciplines in terms of I have to stay away from it in order to live an easier life, because what good is a plasma screen TV for me when I need to travel the world? I stay away from the plasma screen TV, and I have my phone, which is my self-educational program. And guess what? I go typically on YouTube, and it's my TV show where I go and only watch the self-education and the entrepreneurs. That's my self-education shows. And I go there because they're talking about business, and they're talking about life, and they're talking about skills and how you can better your mindset and how you can be more positive. And I watch those shows more than Oprah and more than any CIA investigations on television and Charmed and all of that and Power Rangers. You understand that I never watched wrestling anymore. I used to watch wrestling for half my life. I realized right now I'm much better than yesterday. I'm only number one in my life. Although when I'm number one, I realized that also Jesus is number one. You have to understand that when you're a person who puts yourself as number one, you have to put something greater than yourself as number one. I'm always a person who puts something greater than me as number one. You have to understand that way. You're going to really, really dwell in a better way. And you need to be a person who's far skilled. So make sure you're using your mindset, and you're never stuck on thoughts. You're never stuck on anything that you need to do, because you write it down, and that way you never think about it. Once you have thoughts rotating over here and you're never putting it down, and you're never writing it down somewhere, you're going to go crazy. You're going to go insane because you're never learning. I promise you, the fastest way to learn is to go and write it down. Go and write it down about what you're thinking about and what your thoughts are saying, because that way you're going to teach some value, and that way you're going to start building this nice, beautiful database where you're going to become a specialist in some kind of field. So you have to understand that you have to start. You need to start that, and that way once you start writing and you build 2 years of this database, your story showing something. You understand? Your story showing your success. And once you do it for 50 years and you have this massive database of wisdom that you've left behind in terms of your life and how you live life in your journal, and you're planning every day in your journal, and you have 50 years of journaling, and you post it up every single day, and you put the dates on it. You can look at my beautiful journals in terms of my dates and how I do it, and you go and copy me in a way that you never copy me word for word, and you just look at my ideas, and then you go and make your own. You understand? You make your own ideas, you make your own quotes. I have over 23,000 quotes, and you have to realize I do it all for free. And I found something interesting that is happening online in terms of Instagram, and now that people are looking at me for free, and I'm giving them more inspiration than they are me. You have to understand that is the way to go, and you need to give them more than what they give you, because that way you're much more than them. Because you have to understand that those people who believe you need to follow them because they will follow you, I promise you that you just flick them, because you never need that. You need to be a person who's never focusing on the outside world and what they're doing. You need to be a person inside of you, and who is on no drugs. You never be on drugs, and you be a person who's really using every single word in your vocabulary to put into a video, and to make sure that you can give ideas. Give ideas and never waste time. I'm not sick. I promise you, every time I cough, I say I'm not sick. You need to be a person who's always looking for a better way. I'm not sick. I'm rich or better. You have to understand that I repeat that just to make sure that I have a natural remedy and to unblock myself. You need to be a person who is always looking towards yourself for every single answer, because nobody else is going to solve your problems and queries. I promise you that even Tony Robbins may give you all the ideas. I promise you, although that if you never take action, I promise you that whatever he has done no service. I promise you that Jesus will never help you with all the ideas that Jesus gave you. And if you never seek out Jesus, I promise you that you have no Jesus in your life. You have to seek the person out first, and that way, that person will be in your life. Although you have to understand that you need to be around better people. So never be around the past. I mean, one of my disciplines is never go and speak to people of the past, ever. I mean, I need to move forward now, and I need to realize that those people of the past never care about me, and I move on. I mean, those people who care about you are going to write to you and are going to show you that they love you. So no matter what, make sure that you respond, and make sure that no matter what, that you love them also. You have to understand that those people who rotate towards you are the ones who care about you, so cherish them when they come, and you have to realize that you're going to be living alone throughout life, and you need to think about long term. You have to understand you never think about it, you only see it. You have to see long term. And the only way to do that is to stay away from gratification and drugs and alcohol, because guess what? It may be fine in the short term, although in the long term, it's really damaging. I promise you, drugs and alcohol in the long term is going to make you commit suicide, and it's going to kill you. I promise you, it's the worst way that you can live life, and you have to understand that it can be fun in the moment. I promise you that you're never even living in the moment when you're on drugs. You're somewhere you're very lost when you're doing drugs. I promise you, you're very delusional. You believe you know it all. I promise you, you're very egotistical when you're doing drugs. I was very egotistical when I was doing drugs, and the ice and the meth and the weed and ecstasy pills and also the cocaine. I realized no matter what, I became a schizophrenic before. I'm not a schizophrenic now. I'm a person who's doing much better than yesterday. And that's what I teach. I teach you to become better than yesterday in every single video. And you have to understand that because I'm better than yesterday, I'm story showing that. I'm story showing that I'm better than yesterday, and I'm reaching out every single day to give you some more information. So you have to understand that those people who are doing that are the ones who are more successful than the ones who are never doing it. I promise you, it's a much more successful way when you see a person who's posted 50 million photos on themselves on Instagram, and that's all you see, than a person who's posted one photo of themselves. I promise you, they posted maybe 30 photos of themselves. I promise you, you rather go to the one who posted 50 million ones. You understand? So you see the difference. I mean, you go and you create all these nice, beautiful courses for yourself in whatever area you're doing. I do it in my Mega Drive. I make sure no matter what, that I only have one Mega Drive and I only have one social media. I just grow one social media. I never fucking care about YouTube and all these other ones, because guess what? I care about YouTube in a way that my mentors are on YouTube. I only care about that. I also do the same thing as YouTube with my Audible audiobooks. I make sure no matter what, I invest my money into audiobooks, and I make sure I read on a daily basis something that's going to improve me. I currently read the Book of Wisdom by Osho. I will promise that it's a 49-hour book. So if you're a person who reads at 1 times speed, you'll read it in 49 hours. And because I read it in 3.5 times speed, I actually read the book in about 15 hours. You understand? Because I read it 3.5 times faster. So you have to understand that it's a nice, beautiful advantage, because I get to move on. And by the time you read that book, I've read another 10 books on top of you. You understand? So I'm really fast. I'm really fast, because that's how you have to do everything. You have to react fast. You have to be fast. You have to have agility. You have to be flexible. You have to be a person who can put your leg up. I mean, you have to put your leg behind your head. I mean, you have to be very flexible. You have to be able to do the splits. You have to be able to do gymnastics. You have to be able to do karate and self-defense mechanisms in a way that is going to help you, although you never fight. You know what I'm saying? You never fight. I mean, even when you've learned all of these tactics, and when they hit you, I promise you never use your skills on them. I mean, you let them hit you. You just block. You just block, because that's the way to go. You just block them. You run away. You run away, because guess what? You let them chase you. You let them chase you. You never fight. You never fight, because guess what? You're not chicken shit. You're not a chicken shit. You're just a smarter person who never stands for violence. I mean, when 3 people are attacking you, you let them beat the fuck out of you. You understand? Because guess what? That way, you're a person who is innocent while they're trashing you. I promise you that when you're allowing it, I promise you, you'll grow from it. I mean, you may have a black eye. I mean, you may have had a poked eye out of it. I promise you, although, that you'll grow even more. I promise you, you have no shame about people attacking you. You understand? I promise you, when somebody kills you, you allow it. I promise you, when someone's about to kill you and they point a gun to your head, you allow it and you say nothing. I mean, you say something. You say something. You say nothing that you apologize. I mean, you never apologize for it. You say, I hope grow you, man. I hope grow you. I'm your friend. And let them shoot you. You understand? Because guess what? You never have to resist it. Because there's something better for you. I mean, when somebody says no, I promise you there's a nice, better, beautiful path for you. I promise you many women said no to me. I promise you they said no to me, and guess what? I never cared. I promise you they went for a worse guy than me. I promise you they go for these muscular guys because they're somehow going to have sex with them much better. I realize that no matter what, you have sex in a way that's really going to be better for you, and that's it. You never have sex in a way that's based on other people. You understand? You have sex in a way that's really going to help you, and you only do it for a kid in terms of for something greater. You never have sex around. You never do sex every single day. You understand? Because you have to understand that those people who are having sex more often are the ones who are less productive. You understand? Because sex is a pleasure activity. Those people who are having more pleasure in life are really losing in life. I mean, they're becoming weak. I mean, they're becoming, they're becoming those people who are unsuccessful. You have to be a soft person. You have to be a soft, and you never be hard. You never have hard skin in life. You never have hard hands. You understand when you look at mechanics and people who are plumbers and people who do timber flooring, when you shake their hand, I mean, their hand's really hard. I mean, why is that? Because they're doing hard work. I mean, you have to be a soft person. I'm rich or better. You have to understand that no matter what, you be a person who's really foundational in what you're doing, and be more than smart enough. I mean, go and read smart books. I mean, go and read the nerdy books, and go be a nerd in something. Because when you're a nerd in something, I promise you that people are going to listen to you, and I promise you have a voice, and you realize that when the world never gives you an opportunity, you find one. You find something to do. I promise you, nobody's going to hand you anything in life. You understand? You have to go and do it yourself. And you have to realize that the other day I was watching Grant Cardone in terms of what he was doing, and I realized that I stood away in terms of, as I spoke before in this video, I started going into real estate because Grant Cardone's a big real estate fanatic, and I started to say, I'll never do gardening services, I'll never do timber flooring, I'll never do fixing the doors, I'll never care about fixing the doors, I'll never care about fixing the toilet and the taps. I stay away from that. I never have to do that in my life. I also realized that there's money involved in that, and I never need to do that because I go and put my money in a better way. I also realized that I was watching Gary Vaynerchuk, and Gary Vaynerchuk is saying, you need a coordinator, you need a manager, you need a video person who can do your YouTube, you need a DM, you need a GM, you need a designer, you need a photographer, you need someone to walk your dog, you need somebody to drive your car. You have to understand that I stay away from all of that. I realize that I only love somebody to drive my car. I never have a car. I never have a car. Although I never care about a car, I just need somebody to drive me. I realize that what you need is where you go. You understand? Your needs are important. Although you have to understand that everything else, in terms of life, in terms of somebody driving my car, I promise you that will never happen. I stay away from all of that Gary Vaynerchuk was saying. I stay away from coordinators and other people who are coordinators. I never need other people to do my work. I never need 7 people in my team. I just have I am the team. I'm not an expert. I'm still a student. I'm just a student. I don't call myself a specialist. I don't call myself anything in my field other than a student of life. You understand? You have to understand that I'm just a learner. I'm a person growing. I'm a guru who is doing better than yesterday, and that's it. I'm not your guru. You have to understand when Tony Robbins made the film and the documentary, you have to go and see it. You have to understand he said, I'm not your guru in the title of that road call. You understand? Because a road call is a nice way to say that film. You understand? A road call signifies anything that you can place in terms of life where another word can jump in. You have to understand, you go and be a person who's never a guru of somebody else, and that way you're going to understand to teach yourself more and more. And rich or better. You understand that no matter what, you repeat much more abbreviations in your life and be a person of high vocabulary. I mean, have some high vocabulary in you, and you'll be able to stand in front of a crowd, and you'd be able to speak, and you'll be far ready for it. I mean, you can do it easily, and many people are going to be scared to do that because they never practice. You understand? They never practice the public speaking and communication skills that I do in this video. And you have to understand that when I speak like this, you can pick up my attitude, you can pick up my tonality, you can drive your car, or you can listen to this video, and you never have to download my videos as you see fit. You can download the audio versions because the audio versions are the podcast versions of this video. You understand? So I do podcasting, I do video work. You have to understand, I also do journaling. I have 2 phones. You have to understand that no matter what, that I'm always setting myself up for business in a much better way. So you have to realize I never approach people anymore online. Why? Because I find myself doing something else that's much better than having to approach them. I promise you what I do though, is I like the statuses, and that's it. I mean, when they comment on my profile and they say something positive, I'll like it. I promise you when they say something negative, I never reply, I never say anything. I never care about them. I never replied to negativity. I promise you there was a person here yesterday who was banging the door outside. And they're banging and banging and banging for about 20 minutes. I never went outside. Why? Because I never opened the door to negativity. I promise you the person was drunk and they're banging and slamming the door because they cannot open the door. I mean, the guy is renting a person's real estate and they're banging and slamming the door and breaking the door. You have to understand that you never do that. I said to myself, I'll never approach people who are violent. I'll never approach people who are negative. I'll never approach people who are slamming doors. I'll never open the door to negativity. I'll never be around people who may suddenly scream. I will never be around people who are sick. I'll never be around people who are toxic. I'll never be around toxic behavior. I said that in terms of what you never do. I said, I'll never do this, I'll never do that. And I stay away from it now. I mean, the next time it happens, I'll never do that. Because this time, I'll be prepared for it. Understand? I'll be prepared because I wrote it in terms of what you never do. And that's it. I realize that now when somebody goes around and starts banging the door, or for example, I said in my journal yesterday, I was saying that when there's a fight, I'll never break it up. I'll never break it up. I'll also never be in the middle while they're fighting, because I used to do that and I got hit both ways before. I mean, I was trying to break up a fight and one person hit me and the other person hit me too. I was in the middle. You understand? I was copying the punches. I never did that either. I realized that no matter what, that when somebody is getting stabbed, I would never go there. I'll never go there because that's none of my business. You understand? I realized that when someone is getting shot, I'll never go there. I will never go there. I realize that when it's 20 on 1 and somebody's getting jumped and a woman's getting jumped by 20 guys, I'll never go to protect her. I don't fucking care about her. You understand? Because guess what? I never need to die because of her. I realize that no matter what, now I'm prepared. I realize I'm prepared. I'm more prepared because I realize that's what I'll never do. I realize I write in my journal what you never do, and I just write the point forms. I realize that anything that's a point format inside my journal is what you stay away from. I mean, they're just ideas, and you pick them up, and you just say, I'll never do that either. I realize now, because of that, I am living free. I'm living a better life because I never have to get any of the real estate assets, which are really liabilities. I promise you that, for example, I never shop at anywhere. I promise you I never shop anywhere except for Woolworths. I never have to go to Aldi and Coles in Australia because I go to one place for my food in terms of something greater. You understand? So I make time that way. I'm never all over the place. I'm always making sure I'm on top of things. And when something is alarming me in a way that is leading me both ways, I make a decision there. It's either this one or that one. I mean, I can never have both. You understand? Because in this scenario, I had Coles and Aldi and also Woolworths leaping at me, and I was saying, will I go to Aldi today, or will I go to Coles today, or will I go over here today? I realized I fucked that off. I realized I'll just go to Woolworths instead for my whole life, and I realized I never have to fucking think about it anymore. You understand? I just go Woolworths. I mean, where am I going today? Woolworths. I realize it's Woolworths. I realize it's Woolworths. So be careful, I realize be careful. I realize that you guys be careful that no matter what, that you never blurt out anything without the I. I realize I said Woolworths with no I. I then had to repeat it and I had to say, you guys realize that it's Woolworths. I realize it's Woolworths now. I realize it's Woolworths now. I never just say Woolworths, because without Woolworths, you'll understand I have no I there. I have an I now. I have an I now because guess what? You need to be a person who's really using your I factor. So check out my video with the I factor and you understand that no matter what, you'll be a better person for it. You'll be a better person who's really interesting. You'll be an interesting person. I mean, when you have a woman or a man who's very young and more immature than you, I'm pretty sure that you never need those people. I don't know what you're doing with them. Are you there to have sex with them for one night? Because guess what? To marry an immature person who is more immature than you, I'm pretty sure you never need that. You never need a woman or a man who's more immature than you in life. I promise you then you go for the ones who are more mature than you. I promise you that even they will say the same thing. Although you would understand that no matter what, you go find somebody who is actually going to find you only. I mean, go for the people who are actually trying to catch you. And you never try to catch anybody. You never go to chase them. You understand that when you're chasing people, you're always going to go for less than you deserve. You understand? I'm Richard Bell. I realize that those people who are going for anybody and chasing them and chasing to get married and chasing to have kids, I promise you, they may get it, although they got something less than they deserve. I mean, they're rushing into it. I mean, when you're rushing, you're chasing. I mean, what are you chasing in life? I mean, why are you chasing the car and the woman and the kids and the mortgage rate? I don't know why. Because guess what? It's never going to help you. You have to understand that kids and a wife and a husband is never going to help you. You understand? I promise you what's going to help you is a better mindset. And yourself is the only one that can help you. I promise you nobody outside can help you. I promise you people can give you ideas. And that's the best way to grow. Although you understand you have to get the ideas and you have to apply it. I mean, reading is one part of the equation. And the more you read, I promise you, the more smarter you'll get in a way that you'll be a very interesting person. Although this knowledge is going to build up in you and you're going to suddenly say, I have to start contributing this because I would die never doing something because I'm so interested in this topic, I may as well talk about it. You're going to talk about it more and more. You're going to build a business around it. I don't care what it is. You may be a cleaner. You may be a warehousing expert. You may be a finance expert. You're going to do it for free. You're going to teach people for free what that is. And you teach everything about how to in that section. And you teach people the structures of how to clean and how to do finance and how to be in a warehouse. I mean, there's many topics about that you can talk about. And then you elaborate more and more and you realize that it's about attitude. You realize that it's about growth. You realize it's about personal growth in terms of freedom and becoming more financially free and becoming an entrepreneur and eventually traveling the world and never having to do cleaning in the house. You eventually realize that. You realize you never have to be in one area in your life. You have to now expand yourself. You have to realize that it's more about, let's go walk free now. I mean, let's go be a eagle in life. I mean, let's go be with the wolves. You understand? Because the wolves are the ones who are going in the jungle alone. And some of them, in terms of life, are going with groups. Although you understand the ones who are wolves in groups are the ones who left the crowd. I promise you be with the wolves. Because the wolves are much better. You will understand that when a sheep goes into the woods, I promise you the sheep is lost. I promise you the sheep doesn't know where it's going. You understand? I promise you the sheep is very scared. You understand? I promise you when the wolf goes into the woods, I promise you the wolf can find its way. You understand that the sheep's never been in the woods. I promise you the sheep is only found with the sheep. Because when the sheep goes lost astray, I promise you they've lost the crowd. And guess what happens with the sheep? I mean, the sheep starts to die. You understand? You have to understand that the sheep is always with the sheep. And the wolves will go in the woods because the sheep never will. You understand? I promise you the sheep needs other sheep. I promise you a wolf never needs other wolves. You understand? You need to be that type of person who is really feeding the better side of you. I mean, there was a story that was going on, and a person says, you have a white wolf and a black wolf. I mean, what wolf are you going to choose? I mean, the white wolf is a positive one, and the black wolf is a negative one. I mean, whatever you choose is the one you feed. You have to understand that you choose the positive one because you be the positive white wolf rather than the dark one. You're saying you be the white wolf because the white wolf is something greater. You have to understand that I'd rather be around positive people than negative people, although the negative ones are going to be the ones who are criticizing me in this video, and I'm going to say no, that they might, I realize they're going to say no, and that they rather be around junkies and people who put injections and heroin into their kids. You understand? I never need those people in my life. You have to understand that people who laugh at me because I have 4,000 photos of myself, I realize they're idiots. I realize they're big idiots because I have many of them on Instagram who comment on my photos and who say certain stuff that may be negative, although guess what, it's negative, and I'm not negative. Although guess what, no matter what, it's really about being a better person. So when they're commenting, these people who are negative, I realize I just never reply because it's never about them. And that's the way I story show. I story show in a way that I'm always positive and I'm never speaking negative about anybody. You have to understand that when I speak about something that may be done to me in a truthful way, I promise you I live from it. I'm a person who took responsibility for it. I'm a person who takes ownership every single day. I show up every single day to do a video. And I'm much happier than yesterday because I have free time. I have free time. I have 12 years. I have over 17 years to make a kid. I never care because I have plenty of time to make kids and I never rush for that. You understand? Because I see my road ahead. I'd rather make a legacy now over the next 6 years, and it's only getting stronger for me in terms of life. I'm only getting stronger. I'm only becoming more of who I am, and who I am is growth. You have to understand, I'm only growing. I'm only finding more skills to succeed, and I make sure no matter what, I'm always sticking to these videos on an hourly basis because it's a nice way to say that you have more than enough in this video. And in my videos, I make sure to always encourage people in the end of my videos to make sure that they take action upon what they said, because guess what? People always need to be left with a high, and when you're showing encouragement in the video, you're going to be a person who leaves people on a high. You start off with a high and you end off with a high in encouragement. In a sense, so be a person who's encouraging, be a person who's really listened in this video about how to really sum up all up. I mean, you sum up the video in a way that you're encouraging people now to really go and dig into what I said. And you have to understand, it's really about you now, and when you're doing a video, you dig into yourself and what you said in terms of your summary, and you realize that no matter what, in this video I've explained what you must stay away from. I've explained that you guys must be a better person and that you must have success and you must be reaching high goals. I realize that no matter what, you have the 50 million point. You understand? No matter what, you go and do that. You realize that no matter what, you be a person who is always better for yourself. You be a person who is always encouraging others to grow. Because guys, no matter what, that life is about really getting more satisfied in the way you're growing. And the only way to do that is more information and be around positive people. And you will understand that no matter what, that the world is free. And never let people say that you must give money for them. You never give money for them. You give money for something greater than them. Because there's always something greater that you can do than give money to that person. You understand? I mean, you can do it the free way. I mean, when they're asking for money from you, and I promise you that it's just because of the money that they're with you. You understand? Because you need people who love you for free around you, and that's it. You just need those people because those people are the ones who encourage you. You understand? When you're around people who can teach you, who love you for free, I promise you that's the best gold nuggets that you will have in life. You have to understand that you just love yourself. You give yourself that golden nugget. You give yourself that love and treasure that you need. I promise you, although that when you're in your day and you're a person who's really reconciling inside of yourself, you're going to realize that you can story show that way. You can be a person who's really connecting the dots. You use your mindset. You use it in a way that you're going to get through life in a better way. You're planning for the day. I mean, you have 24 hours every single day. I mean, plan for this moment right now. And what are you doing in this moment? I mean, what are you going to do in this moment only? And you never think about the next moment because the next moment hasn't happened yet. I mean, there is no past because the past is done, and you understand that the past is this moment. And you're just planning now what to do. I mean, you have to understand that those people who are planning are going to do it and are going to achieve it. You talk about your plans also, although you realize you never talk about it until you do it. You only do it first. You do your plans first, and then you talk about it. Because once you've done your plan and your goal, you've actually solved the mystery of how to do it, and then you can teach it. And I promise you, once you teach the plan and what you've done, I promise you that way you've got the wisdom and you're self-evaluated, and that way you're becoming more of a transformational leader, as John C. Maxwell says, and that way you can realize that you can keep lifting people that way. You can keep lifting people in a process manner where you're just educating and you're loving life. I mean, you never have to go to the past. You never have to go and see them. You know what I'm saying? You just move on, because that way you will realize that you forget the past because they're never your friends in the first place, and you move on. You move on. It's that simple. I mean, have a discipline to stay away from the people you've talked to, because guess what? The new way and those people you've never talked to are the unknown. I mean, go speak more to those people, and you understand that most people are going to waste your time. So be around the positive ones in that aspect. I mean, go towards people who are positive and who inspire you in some kind of way, and have a little talk with them and move on. I mean, have a little talk and go somewhere else. I mean, have a little talk with everybody who's positive and who looks positive. I mean, have a little talk with anybody who's helped you in some kind of way, and that's it. I mean, you have a little talk. I mean, when they have a big talk with you, you have a big talk with them. You understand? Because when you see someone who is very, let's say, famous or successful, guess what? I need you to never go to them. I need you to realize that they come to you. You never think big of anybody in life. I mean, only be a person who's more than big enough. You understand? I mean, when they help you, I realize that no matter what, even my mentors and some of them, they never reply. You would understand that they have 24 hours in a day, and there's something more important. I realize that now I'll get the attitude, I'll have the same attitude, and I'll say, I have the same attitude as you guys now because I have 24 hours in my day, and I have something more important than you mentors that I listen to. You understand? Because guess what? They treat me in that manner, I'll treat them in the same manner. Because guess what? You will understand that when you message them 1,000 times and they never reply, you understand that it's because they have only so much time to reply to you, which is never. You understand that you never care, and you go your way and you say, I only have so much time to reply to you people. I mean, you guys think you're all that, and guess what? I am much better than you guys. I mean, you guys really have all this time. I mean, you're financially free and you're traveling the world and you can never reply. And then guess what? No matter what, I don't care. Because that way, I will turn the tables and I'll say, no matter what, that you guys now are never worth my time because I got something better than you guys. I got something better. Although I'm your student, I'll just never share your messages. I'll share your messages around. I'll just never speak to you guys because I have something better than you guys. And you turn the tables on them that way because you never let people disencourage you like that. You understand? I got disencouraged because guess what? When people don't reply to you and you're always messaging them, you have to understand that you never expect them to reply. Although you understand that you just start treating them how they treat you, and you understand that you treat yourself better than that. You never start treating them how they treat you. You give them freely information, although you understand that now you've picked up the attitude. You've picked up the attitude of, I've only got so much time in my day also. I mean, there's something more important than you guys in life. I mean, you are my mentors and you teach me something, but since you never talk to me, I never talk to you, and that's it. You understand? You go your way, although you're their student, and you do it behind the scenes, and they never have to know about that. You go your way. You never have to speak to your mentors. You never have to speak to me. And I promise you that no matter what, if you're a person who speaks to me and I never reply, I promise you that you go and pick up this attitude and you say, there's something more important than me. Because there's always something more important than me in life. I never need you to have harsh feelings about me in life. I need you to understand I'm growing. I'm still getting information. Although you understand that most people, because they have 20k followers, I promise you they never reply to you because you have 200 followers. I mean, it's that kind of world today. You have to understand that now, since I have Les Brown, I have Les Brown's number. I mean, the guy's a motivational speaker. I have his number. I have his WhatsApp. I'll never contact him again. I never care. You understand? Because I let them come to me. I find my own opportunity. I have my own uniqueness. And they may have this uniqueness about them. And Armin van Buuren is a nice, beautiful DJ, which I love to listen to his music, and Deadmau5. And I always emulated their songs, and I try to emulate their songs, although I'll never try again. I never try again because why? I'm much better than trying. I just do it now. I do something related to something that's going to be my authenticity. I mean, something that I grew up with. I mean, it's only you'll find that attitude in me. I mean, there's no other attitude except for one Danny Milivojevic in life, and you understand that you go be one person who is unique in your credibility. I mean, when people never reply to you the first time, you never contact them again. I promise you, even when it's your mentors, because guess what? I promise you they'll never help you. I promise you they'll never help you. I promise you they'll never give you an opportunity. I promise you that you go get their books and you learn from them and you pick up their stuff and that's it. I mean, you pick up their knowledge and you move on. You never pick up material stuff unless it's technology or something that can help you. I only carry a bag around with me around Australia. You see that bag? I only have that bag. I mean, any clothes I get, like this clothes, I sleep in this. I sleep in this. I mean, this is my pajama. I have a nice, beautiful jumper. I got it for $30. I realized no matter what, I invested $30. And I invested in my jacket. I realized no matter what, I go around winter with one jacket and one jumper. And also, no matter what, every single week I'm changing my clothing also. I realized that in my branding photos, I have to change my clothing. So no matter what happens, I'm always a person traveling with just the clothes I have on and my shoulder bag. I mean, I have less than 4 kilos in my shoulder bag. I travel lightly. I have no furniture. I have no beds that I have to carry everywhere. I have no Ferrari that I have to travel to Spain with. I don't care about Ferraris. I can rent one out. I can rent one today. I don't care. I can rent one for 2 hours. I can drive it. I can do that. You have to understand that is all you need. I mean, it's just the experience of being in a Ferrari. You understand? I mean, that's all you need. You can do that all the time. You have to realize that many people are always leeching out for money. I mean, you never leech out for money. You leech out for something greater than money. And what's greater is the skills that you acquire throughout your life. And you teach it. You teach it more and more. And you build the necessary, you build that necessity, which is your knowledge, which is a commodity. And it never goes bust. I mean, your knowledge will never go bust. Because the more you teach it, the more you have it. In a sense, so guys, no matter what, I hope you promote me in this video. And I realize that when you promote me, it's really for something greater than me, and you're never doing it for me, you understand? And no matter what, guys, I make sure that you guys have a great day. I make sure that you guys are I make sure that no matter what, you guys are staying in tune with me, because I'll be doing more of this information. And if you're somebody who does get inspired, you already see the go with me, because with the go of what I do, you can see my words that will help educate you, and there's no fooling with me. I mean, you have to understand that I can never be fooled about people who have 300 million followers on Instagram because they have some reality TV show. I don't care about that. I mean, you guys can never fool me. I mean, people can never fool me in life about who is famous and why they're famous. I realize that when a person has a voice and they're singing and they're fat, I understand what time it is. I understand why they are so talented. Although you will understand that they're fat. I mean, they just have a voice. I mean, they can play guitar in front of people and they have a voice. I realize that's why they're famous, you understand? I realize they inspire people with their voice. I understand that, and that's excellent. Although you understand that many people have fame because of something good that they've done, and although they're spreading negativity also. You have to understand that you be a more positive person who's never fat and who is never doing anything negative on reality TV show, because guess what? Reality TV show is negative. You understand? And it's full of drama. And that's why they have all this popularity. And you have to understand that it's nothing big. I mean, a Oprah Winfrey show is a reality TV show. You understand? I will say though that Oprah Winfrey show is more positive though. I realize that Oprah Winfrey show is more, let's talk about life. So I would watch Oprah Winfrey show, although you understand that no matter what, that Oprah Winfrey is somebody who's really speaking out and she's really helping. So I realize that her show is something positive. I will say that also with Ellen's show, in terms of Ellen DeGeneres, I realize that her show is also something that is widely spoken in terms of something positive, although she can get negative. I can say that. I can say that she can get negative, although her show is more a real show where you can learn something about something. You understand? And that's the kind of shit. I mean, I never said the shit. I realize I'm better than shit You have to understand that no matter what, when you're speaking rude words such as shit and all that, you become that. You become those words. So never speak out those words. I never speak out the word shit. I'm not the word shit. I'm not rude. I realize that when you become rude and you're swearing, you become the swearing and you become the hatred in that what you said. You never need to swear. You need to become a nice person. You need to realize that being nice is the way to story show. So the nicer you are and you're never swearing all these words that are swear words, you'll become a nicer person and you'll never become the swear words. Because what you speak out is what you become. You have to understand that. I'll leave you guys to it. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope that you guys share this video for something greater. And I'll see you guys in the next video.